And staying with us, we're going to start with the nation. Court restricts protesters to Freedom Park and Peace Parks in Lagos. Customs suspends import duties on essential food items. 80,000 apply for the 110 billion naira youth investment fund within 72 hours. EFCC grills NACON over the 90 billion naira Hage fund. Publishers suggest media survival strategies at Jakonde lecture. And quote here by Tunji Ojo, when you want to reboot hope that has been down, you need a bit of time. And we're on the right step. All the avenues of engagement and dialogue must be explored before a nationwide protest. Okay, story?
Yeah, so we have good news from the customs in reaction to the fact that to address the high food cost. The Nigerian Correctional Service has said that taking effect from yesterday, there's a suspension on import duties on essential food items. This is also supported by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari. Said his team is working swiftly and diligently to actualize the crucial policies to ensure food security for everyone within the short term. So they spoke about the imports of some items and how it is the current cost. Said from July 10, they announced that a 180 duty-free window for food commodities has commenced, and the federal government is working on that. That in these challenging times, they are doing what they can. Let us unite in resilience and cooperation. And they are grateful for what the president's approving this move to ease the cost, reduce the cost of food by ensuring that there is no import duty on essential food being brought into the country.
Let me take the major headlines. So Justice Emmanuel Ogundare of Lagos High Court granted a preemptive ex parte application filed by the Attorney General of Lagos State concerning the protest planned for tomorrow. He approved the protest to take place in two parks. That's the Gani Fayemi Freedom Park and the Peace Park in K2. He ruled yesterday, considering the petition filed by the Attorney General, saying that the injunction was to maintain law and order, to ensure Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetogun advised the lawyers that they don't have enough personnel to monitor all the local governments within the state. So what the capacity they have is those two places, and that's why the court says those are the places that protests can take place tomorrow, because they don't have the capacity to ensure that it's not hijacked by hoodlums. So that's what the court have said. And others, they've also asked the other lawyers, that's Mr. Femi Falana, and there's one other lawyer who was speaking in support of the protest, saying that both of them should link up with the police to get the modalities of how the protest should be, how they can protect the protesters and ensure that there's safe protection of life and properties in those areas.
Okay, I have EFCC. Yesterday, they grilled the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, that's NACO, Malan Jalal Arabi, over the alleged mismanagement of this year's Hajj exercise. So he was called in to answer some questions concerning how the 90 billion naira subsidy for the exercise was, spent. EFCC said they had received quite a number of petitions concerning this particular one. And so, it was important to have him come to their office. But they also said this investigation actually dates back to 2021, when the issue of fraud in the commission had become messier, as they say. They said there's a 200 million naira misappropriation before this one that's before them right now. And so this is why he's been called. Concerning if he will be held back or if he was held back, they said no, that the moment he was called, he responded. And so you could almost hear them. They're like, an EFCC tries to perform according to international best practices. And so once he was done, he went home. They don't have any problem. If they invite you and you come and they can tell that you are not a flight risk or you would cause any problems, they'll let you go, just like they've done for him. But that as investigation continues, if they need him, they'll ask him to come, and we'll hear how this goes. This is very important conversation, really, because many Nigerians want to know how the amount of money was spent.
Okay, so I have the federal government had said it received 80,000 applications within 72 hours of opening the portal for the relaunched 110 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund. This is good news for entrepreneurs. The government said the overwhelming response underscored the strong enthusiasm and interest among Nigerian youths in accessing the fund to support their entrepreneurial and innovative endeavors. In a statement by the Ministry's Director of Information and Public Relations, Omolara Esan, the minister said the ministry was encouraged by the response and remained committed to ensuring a fair and transparent selection process to support the most deserving and impactful projects. She also said the NYIF will create focused financing and funding mechanisms for youth-enabled businesses and innovations to keep our youths gainfully engaged in productive ventures. That this will also create lots of jobs directly and indirectly for the youths of Nigeria. So I think in line with everything that is going on now with the economic hardship, this is a good one, by the federal government to help sustaining jobs, yes.
Okay, so the Punch. Hardship protests. Security agencies occupy Abuja venue as IG organizers disagree. Few crises may end as vessels berth in Lagos. Referendum. Yoruba Nation agitators writing reminder to Tinubu. Let me take the major headline because it's a follow-up story for the story I took earlier. So now it's a bit clearer from Punch. So what happened was yesterday, the Inspector General of Police had called a meeting, a virtual meeting, with the lawyers of the protesters. That's Mr. Kayode. No, that's not his name. Let me get his name properly. The lawyer representing the protesters is Ebun Olu Adegborowa, and also Femi Falana. Both of them were in that meeting. And so what happened was the Inspector General of Police had agreed that they're allowed to protest and they'll get the protection they need. Everybody agreed that it's a fundamental right of every Nigerian to protest. The only place where they disagreed is the fact that the police was insisting that they had to be confined in a certain area. So that's where both the lawyers insisted that they're allowed to protest anywhere they choose. It's just the police duty to protect them wherever they are. So that's where the disagreement left off yesterday, and that's why they're insisting that they both need to discuss with the police to know how to carry out, to advise the protesters on where to have the protest tomorrow. So that's the disagreement, and hopefully that there won't be issues of damage and carnage as we experienced last time.
So I took a story inside the papers about a demolition. So the coalition of victims of demolished buildings in the Oworonshoki area of Lagos State have, they were represented by Okoyemi Ogunlami, signed a statement to lament the continuous threat towards their location. Their location actually is a Mostafejo community. It's a slum settlement within the Oworonshoki area, but they said that they have over 1,000 buildings and over 10,000 inhabitants. They were displaced a year ago. And another area of that community, which is called the Precious Seed community of the Oworonshoki area, have now also been, they've also been threatened that if they don't move out of that place before the 1st of August, that entire land space is going to be demolished as well. The statement carried the fact that there's been 13 deaths as a result of the last demolitions that took place. 7 women, 2 men, and 4 children have lost their lives, and thousands of victims are still homeless because where they are sheltering themselves have been demolished, and there's no compensation, nothing is being said to them, and they are calling on the governor to give more time. This August 1st will not be convenient for them to be evicted from that location, and that the governor should award settlements to those who have claim to the places where they are residing there. So it's a case of, are you a legal resident? How do we now ensure that they get compensation? But I think
pay your taxes
because
Yes, yeah.
they can't just give compensation to you because
Yes, just because, yes. You must have done your own part to the government. Yes.
Do you have a story in Punch?
Yes, I do. I have 2 police orderlies attached to former House of Reps member Joan Oyemechi and her driver. They said on Tuesday evening they were killed, and then these kidnappers also abducted her and her children. This happened in Asaba in Delta State. They said she was abducted from church, that they had come in, and the moment these bandits came in, they shot at the 2 orderlies, and also, unfortunately, an innocent passerby was there as well and was shot dead, and she was taken away, according to the report, with the children. But the police commission has confirmed that such an incident happened, but they said only 1 policeman was shot, and they are not sure if he was also the driver, and that she was the only one that was abducted from the scene. There seem to be a lot of, this violent kidnappings happening in the Asaba area recently, so government needs to look into this, and I hope, first of all, our hearts goes out to the families of those that have lost their lives, and we hope that she is returned safely to her family.
Let's
Yes,
go
I
on a
have-
short break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.